Okay, we're going to go through a couple things here. And the first one is naming. So I'm going to come on up to the very top where it says tell op name. It's going to say basic op mode. You want to switch this to whatever you name. You see, I notice mine is now named 32nd Thursday. So we're going to come on down here. Remember, I remarked out all the stuff, or as much of the stuff about the left drive. I still have the names of the left drive and the right drive. So when I do my template, I'm going to have to include those or I'm going to get an error. Now you could just remark those things out and see how it works. So we're coming through here. Remember, I declared my elevator in my hardware map as my DC class. I've got my set direction for my left and right drive and adding telemetry to that. And then on my public void, I'm telling it what I want it to do. And I did leave the double power, but notice I remarked out the gamepad information. So if I wanted this to actually drive, I could take the remarks out and I would give the gamepad left stick and right stick, and then the range for my clip on my drive, and I could actually use the joystick to drive the robot. So also took out the left power stuff. Here's what's important on this part of the program. We have the elevator set power 1, and then we want to know how long it's going to run. So while runtime dot set time is going to be less than 2 seconds. And then we're going to set the power to -1, which is going to make it spin the opposite direction. And we're going to do a runtime reset. And then I think I might have my time wrong, but we're trying to reset it to set the elevator to go to 0. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in my phone to the computer. Hang on just a second. Okay, I've plugged my phone into the computer. See? Phone plugged into the computer via USB. And I'm going to come up here, and when I build a project in Android Studio, I've got to actually build it. So I'm going to compile it to make it into something that the program will understand. And I'm going to hit make project. And you come down here, and since I was testing this, you see that the Gradle was built in 1 second, 64 seconds. So that's going to tell you, I'm going to try to do that again so you can see what happens. I'm going to make project and watch my little bar down here. Notice that stuff's going on. And it's finished because it didn't have a lot to do. Now that compiled my code, but it didn't put it on my phone. So what I've got to do over here is I've got to go to run. And I'm going to run team code. This is going to install it on my phone. So I'm going to hit run team code. And now this is really important. If you notice the connected devices versus the available devices, you want to make sure that you have installed the driver for the phone on the computer and that the phone is in developer mode, or you won't get this. You'll just get a virtual phone, and you can't install on a virtual phone. So I'm going to tell it okay. So you notice I've got a real phone up there on my devices. I'm going to tell this okay. And once again, my Gradle is doing here. So the thing to watch is, notice it's installing the APK onto my phone. And so if you look at my phone here in just a minute, my phone actually reboots. And then the robot controller will open again. And that's how you not only make a project, right? So you put your code in there. You build the project. Once you build it, you have to run it to install it onto your phone. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the configuration and run this configuration on the robot. Now, this team code hasn't been tested, so I'm not sure that all of it's going to work right now, but we'll check it in just a minute.